Hey. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 180th. 180th? Yeah, 180th Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Kate is back from out west. She's down in the duck. I think she is taken some sleeping pills the last couple days, and she's rested. Everything's good to go. We're all doing well. She's back on her feet. I'm back on my feet. We're doing the thing that we do. Let's see. Yeah. I am right now in the course of trying to send this out to everywhere I need to send it out to. Let me double check and make sure we are good. Okay. One, 2, 3. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're good there. All right. Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing fantastic. We are having a great night here. We have kind of an interesting show planned for everyone, and I hope everybody's going to like it. This should be kind of interesting because I think we might get into a little bit of a debate. It's going to be interesting to see what you all out there think compared to what I think. And I will be honest, I don't know exactly where I fall on this right yet. I'm in the process of deciding if I believe what I think I believe, I possibly believe another way, or if I'm hypocritical about what I think about this. So we're going to be talking about this, and just to give you guys a little bit of a teaser on what it is that we're going to be talking about, and this is going to be the main part of the show, I think. We're going to be talking about the First Amendment and access to officials, public officials, and as you all are aware, as you all know, I currently am in a First Amendment lawsuit against an elected official for a First Amendment rights violation. So we're going to bring something up, and then I'm going to ask you where you all fall, where you all think, and maybe this is going to be a situation in which you help change my mind. Maybe you don't. Maybe I keep my mind right where it is. Well, I guess we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting to see what Kate says about this and everything else. So this is going to be kind of cool. Kind of see where everybody's at. I hope everybody's doing well. Hello, Joe. Hello, Stumblefoot. Hello, the doctor. Let's see here. Kate is live. Julie is here. Alva is here. Steve Riggins is here. Jack is in the house. Ryan. And before we get too deep into tonight's show, we will go with the quote of the evening from the quote master, Joe Tompkins. Fearlessness in those without power is maddening to those who have it. Woo! Fearlessness in those without power is maddening to those who have it. And I tell you, I don't know if this guy is stalking Joe, if he is stalking my social media interactions, or if he's got a bug placed somewhere inside my home, but he somehow picks the exact quote that kind of fits like what's currently going on. At least the last 3 nights we've done this, the quote that you have picked has fit like perfectly with something that has been going on in my life. So I think that this is very interesting, and I definitely want to keep this up. Hello, Elizabeth Edgel. Welcome, welcome. Darla is here. I talked to Audie a little bit earlier. I think he might be crashed out already. Is he crashed out already, Darla? Good evening, Betty. All right. Hey, so this is going to be interesting. We're going to have a debate here in just a little bit. I would imagine your meter's on point. And we'll see. I don't know. But before we get started, for those of you that are here on the YouTube platform, we would love to have you do these things down below. Hit the like, smash that subscribe if you have not. That's what we need. We only have 168 more subscriptions until we get the official wooden YouTube play button. I watch the show and read the episode descriptions. Well, that's I like that. I like that. That's sometimes I can tell you, Joe, that would make sense. But tonight, I still don't know how you did it. So that's kind of crazy. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, if you guys could do that, if you're watching live, of course, we would love for you to interact with us over here on the live chat wall. If you're watching at your own time on your own, in your own plane of existence, at your convenience, then comment down below. And of course, above all else, share the show with everyone you know. I'm sure that Kate will pop up at some point. You'll get to see her lovely green wall and the windows back behind. I promise you all, she is at her house. She is. There she is. Ta-da! Kate's here.
I'm in Indiana. Woo woo! And look who I have. I have my beautiful husband back again.
What up, man?
Things got reversed a little bit. I'm used to being left behind, and
right. you're the one
that got left behind this time.
Yes, right.
So, and he did not like it. Not one little bit. He says.
Well, it's good for some role reversal every now and then. They did the what was that, wife swap, but it was without swapping the wives. Actually, what was that on? What a weird concept for a TV show. What a weird deal. Anyway, all right. So here's the thing. First and foremost, my hair is really wild. I went to go see about getting a haircut on Monday, and my place was closed. And then today, I was kind of out of the mood. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's getting a little crazy, and it's starting to get warm outside, which means I don't know if we're going to make it to 250 or not. We'll have to see what goes on. If we have another couple days as warm as it was today, we'll probably be off with the hair. So before we get into the big debate that I want to talk about, when are you going to see? That's the thing. Maybe if I grow it out another 8 inches, I can donate it to, whatever. Pantene Beautiful Locks. I'm not swapping wives. It took me 38 years to get this one trained. I don't have 38 years left in me for another one. Well, I understand. I understand that too. I might be able, one time when I was in high school, my hair was long enough. I had a friend of mine actually. Oh God, we did cornrows for an evening, and that hurt so god awful bad. It was the worst thing I'd ever done, and nobody actually ever saw it because I couldn't deal with it. It hurt my head so bad. We had one picture of it, and that picture has been lost to time. But for the few people that were here at my house when that happened, that was with me, you all know what it was like. It was amazing. But we did some cornrows, and they were in for about 2.5 hours, and then they came out. So I'm sure there's a need for a gray wig somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot of theatrical plays and things that are in need of that stuff. So yeah, that pick would be amazing. Yeah, I don't know. That would kill me. I couldn't sit through it. The pain that I had to suffer through for that, I know I couldn't do it today. There is simply no way I could do that. Hey, before we get started, I do have to give out a very, very special let me make sure I'm doing this right here. I want to make sure. Give me 1 second before I continue on. Yeah, I was. That was. Okay. We have to give out a very, very special birthday shout out to none other than the Political Spotlight's spooky contributor, the Queen of Halloween, Mary Nicholson. It's her birthday today. And she is very, I guess I looked in the comments, kind of similar to Brando, and I think she might just do the whole celebration for the rest of the month. So happy birthday month to the Queen of Halloween. I guess we could have done this. Let me see. Hold on here. If I can find this 1 second. Let me write this. I should have done this. Dude, this is like really slow. Is that all the more it does? Let's do this menacing. Hold on here. All right, let's do menacing. Menacing sounds bad. Yes. Happy birthday to the Queen of Halloween.
You're missing your.
I know. Right. It's way over here. It normally change some things, and it messes some stuff up. So happy birthday, Mary. We'll have to come up with another reason to have you pop back on the show coming up here, other than Halloween. But happy birthday. We even had some background music for you. So yeah, everybody there, tell her happy birthday. I think she's watching. I'm not 100% sure. I've got this tail here that you can see over my mask, the plague doctor's mask I could have wore. So all right, well that's good. I fulfilled my contractual obligation to Mary there. Happy birthday, Mary. I hope you have a great day and all is well. All right, so now the last other thing really quickly before we get into the big debate topic of the show. Everybody has been pointing out in Delaware County. Of course, we are today, if you're watching this live at the time of this broadcast, we are coming to you live on Tuesday, the 16th. Obviously, this does not mean anything to you. If you're watching this at a later date, you will need to adjust the calculations. But if you're watching this live with us, we now officially as of midnight tonight, we'll have 20 days until the election. All right. That's very important to know. Only 20 days. The upcoming primary election day is Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. here in the great state of Indiana. If you want to vote early, you can do so through the week, Monday through Friday, at the local clerk's office, your county clerk's office, not your local clerk, not your city or your town clerk, but your county clerk's office during their business hours. Call to, get that. They're normally between 8 and 4, 8:30 and 4, something like that. So you can do that. And then for 2 Saturdays before the election, so that would be the 27th and the 4th, Saturday the 27th and Saturday the 4th, they will have them out at some other roving areas. And then the Monday before Election Day, so Monday the 6th, you can vote at the clerk's office until noon. All right. If you want to vote by mail-in, you need to submit a document stating that you want to do that, and you need to get on the ball with that. Quit delaying. Do not do that. All right. So that's very important. I want to get that information out. Hello there, Larry Savage, watching from the Facebook world. All right. Now, I want to tell you, a lot of you from Muncie, the Delaware County area, you have been sharing something to me for the last little bit. And it has been a television ad. And matter of fact, what happened was 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Man. I think my grandmother was out of the rehab, or not out of the rehab. So it might have been longer than even 2 weeks ago. I don't know. It was sometime close to the 21st, because that's 22nd, which is when she officially got out. Somewhere right around in there. I was watching TV and I saw a television ad for James King. And I was watching it. But you know how when you're watching TV, and if you use the rewind or fast forward on the DVR button, and you go so far backwards that you're up against the actual time, so you go so far back, it just plays automatically because you've only got you've got like 2 hours of time there. I had done that. And so when I started to rewind it to record it on my phone, I didn't have the ability to be able to do that. It wouldn't let me go any further back. So I lost it. And it was on a channel, like it was like on TNT or something like that. It was on a channel that was playing like a bunch of sports crap. And I normally don't care about sports. So I was like, okay, I'll get it at another time. And I just never got it at another time. And so I still have not officially been able to record it myself. However, a lot of people have been sending in pictures. A couple people have recorded like half of the commercial and sent it in. Well, now there's a second commercial, and there's a whole nother commercial. There's a second commercial for King, and there's now a second commercial, or another commercial in and of itself, for 3 of the council candidates, for Jessica Piper, for Brad Bookout, and for Eugene Whitehead. All right. So we're going to continue talking about these in 1 second, but I just saw a comment that I feel like I need to address really briefly. Really quickly. Court for Kimbrell is canceled tomorrow. Court for Kimbrell is not going tomorrow. I don't know if the my case has been updated, but I can tell you I talked to the Superior Court at after hours today. When I called the Superior Court right at the end of the day, and she said I wasn't going to answer this, but they ended up answering it. Thank God, or she wouldn't have said that to me. But they said that they are at that time. I just went back into my case. They said that they were waiting to hear back from Judge Body on a new date. Give me 1 second here. And yeah. So the very last thing that popped up, I will show you here. It does say that it's canceled, but there is not a new date scheduled. So give me 1 second here, and I will show you so everyone can see, and we can all be on the same case and page as this. So the last, here we are. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the activity. On April 16th, 2024, hearing journal entry, counsel for defendant appears for final pretrial conference by agreement. This would have been the day that he would have had to have, like, for the final time, given his attorney the I do not want to plead, and I'm not going to take a plea deal. And I'm going to tell you from my sources in this, I'm telling you exactly what it is. Joshua has said that he will not plea. He will not take a plea from the. He will not plead to anything that involves the felony 1. And so he feels like as a accused pedophile from a jail cell that he gets to dictate the case. And I don't feel like that has, I don't feel like he has the understanding that he's not running the show. So he announced to his attorney that he was not going to be taking the plea. I told everybody involved with this 2 or 3 weeks ago, do not get your hopes up. They are not going to go on the 17th, because what's happening is everybody involved in this is going from the perspective of, oh, he'll take the plea, or no, he's not going to take the plea. No, he's not going to take the plea, which means this. If he would have taken the plea, there would be no reason to prepare for trial. And if he decided to not take the plea at the last moment, they would then get to say, well, we haven't prepared for trial, so now we need a continuance. So that's exactly what's happened here. His basically what happens in this situation is his defense attorney has said, well, my client's not going to take the plea, and now, Your Honor, I have to prepare for trial, which in my opinion is absolute utter bullshit. If I was the attorney, if I was the judge, I would have said, you should have been preparing all along. You knew about this court date at least a month ago, yada, yada, yada. But to make sure that there's not some kind of an immediate appeal, I'm sure that was happened. Now, I had heard that maybe it was just going to be a really quick, like they kicked it off 2 weeks. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll find out. I would say that the court should update this system probably by tomorrow or the next day. Hopefully it'll be here soon. But as of now, there is no court tomorrow. Kimbrell does not have a court case. court has been canceled. So that is what it is. And as of right now, there are no updates to the Lewis Galligan situation. He is still in court, in custody in England, and we are currently going through the process. I will tell you, I was told when I first got the information that the expedition process was going to take a good long time. I was told that if Lewis decided that he did not want to fight extradition, and he said, I want to go straight on back to the States, I want to go back, I want to face this, I am not going to fight extradition, that it could take anywhere up to 6 months to a year. And if he fights extradition, then it could take well longer than that. So the Galligan situation might be something that we are dealing with for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. So I hate to hear that. And I was told not to release that information. However, after I broke the story, after I broke the story and I put it out, and I had put it out for 2 weeks, and I saw there was no other coverage, I sent an email to over 30 news organizations. And the day after I sent that email out, these news organizations then started covering it. So you're welcome. I saw that one of them relayed that information to their audience. So I thought, okay, well, since they've done it, I guess I will too. So now it's out. So it wasn't something that I didn't spill the beans on that. They did, and I thought, oh, okay, cool. So that's the situation. Julie Gallagher has done other things that he has not been arrested for. Well, I don't think we know that for sure. At least, in my opinion, yes. In my opinion, yes. We'll have to see what exactly he will be charged with, and specifically if he will be charged with fleeing, which, in my opinion, he should absolutely be charged with as well. So, okay. Pedophile watch out of the way. We can now move on to the actual topics of conversation. And look, there's just nothing new to say about all of this. Josh's case was going to be continued. I knew it was 2 weeks ago. It's stupid that it is. Hopefully it won't be continued for like months and months. Hopefully it'll be something, at the very least, it'll be like next month. But, oh, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, Julie. Those were all prior to this arrest. He had situations where he was arrested for false informing and a theft and all that stuff. Those will all take a back seat to anything that's happening in Randolph County. All of that stuff will take a back seat. Randolph County will get him first because he was arrested on the warrant out of the court from Randolph County. So whenever he gets back to the States, Randolph County will get him first. And yeah, that is a good question, Jack. We don't know. We don't know how he was. I'm hoping that when Lewis gets back to the States, that Lewis will be willing to talk, and at that point we will know. I'll go ahead and I'll even put out here my thoughts and my beliefs on this. If Lewis, and this is just my belief, maybe I'm wrong, if Lewis does not fight extradition, if Lewis comes back quickly, I think that will be a bad sign for other people. If Lewis comes back early, I think that will be a bad sign. Now, if he doesn't come back early, doesn't mean there's not information. I just think that he might be thinking, well, it's cushier over here in these English holding cells than getting back in the States. And so maybe he'll ride that out. But it will all depend on what Lewis has to say. And as a couple of you are talking about, you know, I will say Lewis is someone that likes to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So if they get a skilled investigator in with him, I absolutely believe that Lewis will have a story to tell. Now, how accurate and how truthful it is, they will then have to investigate that, because Lewis is also a tall tale teller. So that will be interesting as well. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going around. And like I said, I'm not going to get too far into that because, you know, of liability reasons. But, you know, God willing, we'll be here and we will be covering that if and when he comes back. Hello, Wanda, and good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Glad you're doing okay. All right. So back to this political commercial here, folks. Let me see. So getting it off of this, as I said, there were some people that have been sending me this this commercial, and I was like, yeah, I've seen this. Well, what I noticed about the commercial was rather interesting, and that is the fact that the first commercial of James King that I saw last 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was paid for not by the candidate, but rather it was paid for by a PAC, a PAC, a political action committee. And I thought, that's interesting. What political action committee is paying for James King? That's really interesting. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see it because I wasn't able to rewind it. Okay. So I just had to hope that someone would catch it or someone would let me know. And so a couple days later, someone said, hey, that first King ad, it was paid for by the political action committee called Citizens for Transparency. Citizens for Transparency. What a weird title that is. That's interesting. So I thought, I'll have to look up and see who that is. So I went to the Indiana Secretary of State's website and I looked it up, and amazing. There was nothing there to show me who this was. I couldn't see anything. It didn't have Citizens for Transparency. So this was it was like a little bit of a mystery. It was kind of strange. Well, time went on and we got worrying about other things, yada, yada, yada. And it was what it was. So here the other night, somebody sent a recording to me, And now this recording, it plays 2 commercials back to back. And basically what this is it's interesting. I at first thought that this was one commercial, but you will notice what it is it's 2 commercials because they are paid by 2 different organizations. So what this video that we're going to watch here in a moment is going to be the new commercial for the council candidates, and it's paid for also by this PAC, Citizens for Transparency. So now we have one King ad a couple weeks ago that was paid for by Citizens for Transparency. Then next, we have a council ad paid for by Citizens for Transparency. Interesting. Okay. Well, then we have another King ad, and the King ad is paid for by the Committee to Elect James King. Quite odd. So I'm going to let you watch this, and I'm going to kill it right after the first commercial, and we'll come back to the second commercial in a minute. Here we go.
Air, you need to pay attention to this one. Your vote for Jessica Piper, Eugene Whitehead, and Brad Bookout will have more impact on your life than any race for Congress, the State House, or even governor. Whitehead and Piper have spearheaded not borrowing a penny for the county budget for the first time in decades. Piper, Whitehead, and Bookout are fiscal conservatives who will cut excess spending and support opportunities for economic development and job creation. Piper, Whitehead, and Bookout for county council. James King is a
Okay, we saw it there. I know it's a little hard to hear. Give me 1 second here. What is going on with the... What is going on with this weird... The count is all funky up there. Give me a second here. Something... All right. Have we lost signal out there to anybody? Is anybody having a hard time hearing or seeing us? Give me 1 second here. Yeah, weird. I don't, that's really strange. Well, anyways, okay. I'm going to go back to this now. Sorry, we had something funky going on there. So I'm going to present this up to you again because, and I'm going to do it in a way where we can show you this. I want to show you this here real quick, and I want to be able to pause this. So I'm going to put this up here and see if I can do it this way. All right.
You need to pay attention to this one. Your vote for Jessica Piper, Eugene Whitehead, and Brad Bookout will have more impact on your life than any race for Congress, the State House, or even governor. Whitehead and Piper have spearheaded not borrowing a penny for the county budget for the first time in decades. Piper, Whitehead, and Bookout are fiscal conservatives who will cut excess spending and support opportunities for economic development and job creation. Piper, Whitehead, and Bookout.
Okay. Do you guys see where it says vote for Jessica Piper, Eugene Whitehead, and Brad Bookout for County Council May 7th? All right. Now, do you see here where it says it's got the blue state of Indiana and it's got an elephant? It says Delaware County, and it's got this little star here for Delaware County. And then down here in the underneath Indiana and underneath the elephant, it says paid for by Citizens for Transparency. Do you see that? All right. Well, I want you to keep this in mind. Keep this little, that little blue Indiana and where it says Delaware County Republicans paid for by Citizens for Transparency. Keep that in your mind, because after I got this today, okay, I was like, I am going to get to the bottom of where this political action committee is coming from, because it's not coming from the Indiana Secretary of State's office. So again, I called down there and I asked them what I would need to do, because I have had a political action committee before. I have had a political action committee. And when I filed my political action committee, I had to file with the state of Indiana. I have never heard that you could file a political action committee with the county clerk's office and that would never go to the Indiana Secretary of State's office. I did not know that. I've never heard that. Today, I found out that that is something that you could do. So I contacted the clerk's office and I went up to the clerk's office and I filed a records request and I received this document. Let me tell you what this document says, ladies and gentlemen. This document reads, Political Action Committee or Legislative Caucus Committee Statement of Organization. All right. This is not an amendment. So this is the first time they've set this up. And this is for the Citizens for Transparency. Now, let me see if I can pull this up and put this on the screen so you guys can see it here. Give me 1 second. There we go. It's a little hard for you all to see, but it is what it is. I'll read it to you. The Citizens for Transparency. And it's given an address, and then it's given a phone number, and the phone number for the Political Action Committee is 765-713-7000. The committee says that it was organized. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Something's got to be up. I'm just going to go on with it and we'll figure out what happens. I don't know. The telephone number is what I said. And then it goes down at the bottom. State the purpose of the committee in which issues the committee expects to focus. State the purpose of the committee and on which issues the committee expects to focus. And it says local impact on taxes. The chairperson for this organization is none other than William Walters. Who's William Walters? What's going on with that? That's really strange. That's real funky. William Walters? Is that the same William Walters that is that the same William Walters that is the campaign chair for James King? Is that the same William Walters? Now, let me make sure you guys are aware of just exactly who we're talking about, okay? William Walters, ladies and gentlemen, is James King's election chair, all right? He is also head of the East Central Indiana Regional Planning District. He also works for Brad Bookout's Augusta Consulting. And so he gets paid by the county. He's on the Daleville Town Council, where James King is the chief of police. This is all so incestuous. But keep in mind that this phone number 765-713-7000 is a phone number that rings to the Planning Commission, to the regional planning district, to the planning district, which is a nonprofit, which is not proper. Okay? That is all kinds of problems for this organization. I've never heard so much chaos going on around one organization, around one entity. I have never heard of such nonsense. Like, I'm going to have to actually get a whiteboard and pull it all up and go through it. Okay. Kate says, I need copies of all of these forms that list the 501c3 number as the campaign PAC committee number to include in a complaint to the IRS. Yeah, we need to do that. That's absolutely true. I don't understand what is going on with this, because I want to show you. Why don't we just take this time really briefly before we get on to this debate, and I will show you just how gross all of this kind of is, so incestuous, like it is. It's absolutely insane. Okay, it's telling me something right now is going on with YouTube. YouTube has something going on, because I'm not able to go to Delaware County. I'm not able to access Delaware County's YouTube. I don't know if maybe we've been banned or something's happened. If you're watching us on YouTube, that's amazing, because something seems funky with our YouTube, and I'm not able. Let me go here and see. I'm not able to get on. Let me click here on this other Delaware County meeting and see if I'm able to click on this. All right, so let me pull up that. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can pull up their YouTube page this way. Okay, yeah, let me do that. Give me a second here. Okay, here's the Redevelopment Commission meeting. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how all of these names, we've got Brad Bookout, James King, William Walters, okay, Mike Jones, Brad, James, William, Michelle Batters. We'll put Michelle in here. Okay. Now, I want to show you what happens. All right. So we have a list of names here. We've got Brad, James, William, Mike Jones, and Michelle. All right. I want to show you how these people all interconnect. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where the top of this would be. So we'll put James King here in the middle. James is in the middle. All right. James. He's here in the middle. James. James is the Daleville police chief. So we will put the police chief over here to the side. Okay. William Walters.
Do we have a date for this being established?
Yeah, so it was established on 3/18 is when they filled it out, but the clerk's office did not stamp it until April 9th. So I don't care what date they signed it. It was stamped on April 9th. So they'd already been doing business in the name of this pack by the time before it was official. All right. So that's one thing that we need to keep in mind there. They had been doing work prior to it being set up. So that's important to know. All right. So Daleville Town Board. All right. So James King is here. William Walters is on the Daleville Town Board. They employ King as the chief of police. James is also Delaware County Commissioner. So we'll put the commissioner down here at the bottom. Okay. Brad Bookout. We'll put him up here at the top around King. All right. Brad Bookout works in a company under William Walters. So William Walters is Brad Bookout's boss in a job. But then they turn around and share that and reverse it because William Walters is also an employee at Bookout's company. Isn't that interesting? So you got Augusta Corp, where William Walters works for Brad Bookout, and you've got the Regional Planning District where Bookout works for William Walters. So that's really interesting how that kind of, that tit for tat they've got going on there. Now, Mike Jones. Who's Mike Jones to all this madness besides the stamp licker? Well, Mike Jones is Brad Bookout's father-in-law. All right. So he's like father-in-law to Bradley Bookout. He's also really good friends with Jimmy King. All right. But instead of just being friends with Jimmy King, he's also an employee of James King. So that's why he has the allegiance to King. But Brad King also works for James King. Brad Bookout, excuse me. Brad Bookout also works for James King. So as the economic development person. So they now work like this. All right. There's a woman called Michelle Batters. Michelle Batters works for Brad Bookout, and she's also on the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. So she's appointed by James King to the DCRC. So everybody is connected in more than one way to every single other person on here. Everyone probably has some kind of dirt on some other person. That's the reason why they all are loyal to each other, because if one of them goes down or goes away, it ruins the whole system. And this is what helps breed soft corruption. Remember, corruption sometimes can mean illegal, but it doesn't always have to mean illegal. So people just really need to understand why when you see Mike Jones going out of his way to just say the dumbest crap on social media and just tear into people and go nuts the way that he does and go hard in the paint for James King, it's not because he specifically thinks King is a genius or whatever. It's because, number one, Mike has his position because of King, but Mike's son-in-law has his position because of King. What? That was weird. I heard someone. That was really strange. I don't know what happened there. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what they do. They insulate themselves so that no one can get close to them. And this is exactly why governments and other organizations fight against giving your friends a job, giving I'm going to give my son and my nephew and my brother and because you have a hard time when it comes time to need to nepotism. It's hard time punishing your nephew when he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing, or moreover, when your nephew knows that you're doing something that maybe you shouldn't be doing. It's hard for your nephew to blow the whistle on you when you all pack up and say, hey, let's go out to the boys' trip. This is absolutely insane. When Ryan talks about the boys' trip going out to Vegas, or going to Paris, or going to Italy, you're always talking about it including James and William and Brad. William and Brad are each other's boss. And in some capacity, William is also James's boss. James is also William's boss. Brad works for James. Brad also helps fund James. Now we've got this other weird deal that William is also James' campaign manager, and he uses his nonprofit organization to help James continue to keep his elected position. Now we have a political action committee right here, ladies and gentlemen, a political action committee. Why do they need to create a political action committee? Why does William Walters need to create the Citizens for Transparency to fund money to James King? Why does he not just fund that money to King himself? Why? I mean, think about this. This is, yeah, absolutely, Kate. So imagine this. I'm going to pull Kate up just for 1 second. Pull you up here. All right. Imagine Kate's going to run for commissioner, and I'm going to be her campaign manager, and I'm going to give her money, and I'm going to help, and we're going to have the committee to elect Kate to the Randolph County commissioner. And
you won me over with giving me money.
Yeah, right. It's that easy.
Yeah.
We're going to get her elected to the commissioner's office. So we're going to put up this committee, the committee to elect Kate Thornburg. But then I'm also going to, yeah, right. Who's on first? Absolutely. Then I'm going to also create the Citizens for Better Government in Randolph County. And I'm going to, it's still me, and I'm just going to take that same money, and I'm also going to put it in that, and that's also going to do work for Kate. But what that does is it make it seems like there's all these other people. Oh, there's these Citizens for Better Government. Well, who are the citizens? Oh, well, it's William Walters and some woman that owes him a favor. Was it James that got tired of public comments and shut the meeting down so he didn't have to listen to him. No, let me tell you who that was. That was James and Shannon and Mr. Ingram, your opponent, who sat right there and didn't say shit if she had a mouthful of it. And all three of them did it. As far as I'm concerned, they were all guilty. And let's just not talk about James here. Let's talk about Sherry Riggin. Let's talk about Sherry. Sherry's up for re-election. Troy's running against Sherry. Sherry could have fought against this at any point. Sorry, if you want to go down now, we can. I'm sorry. I just wanted to.
I was just going to say Sherry's complicit by her silence.
Absolutely. Yep.
If nothing else, she should be on the record saying no.
Yep. Yep.
She just never does. And that's complicity.
Well, and not only is it her being complicit in all of this, now she's even kind of buying into it by saying things when they get interviewed by the paper. Well, I haven't been on those trips, but I'm going to start going in the future, and saying things like, well, we don't need to actually have everything that's said in the minutes. We need to do the bare minimum. Let me ask you a question, Troy Ingram. As commissioner of Delaware County, do you want the bare minimum in the minutes, or do you want what happens in the meeting to be? You've seen the minutes in the city council meetings in Muncie. I don't think listen, I'm not trying to kick Lacey. Lacey does a hell of a job. She's a fantastic person. But I'm not saying she's a rocket scientist by any. I'm not saying that she's a rocket scientist by any stretch of the imagination. She's normal, average intelligence, wonderfully smart person, good at her job. But if she's capable of doing it, if she's capable of doing this, why are the people in the auditor's office not capable of doing this? So as a candidate, do you want them to do the bare minimum, or would you like to see what happens in the meeting to be in the minutes, which in my opinion is what it should be? Here Riggin has got a pass. And I've given her a pass, and a lot of other people have given her a pass because, she's not done any of this. She just sat there, and we've all said, well, she just gets bullied over by these other two guys. Well, bullshit. Ryan gets bullied over by the other six people a lot of times, and he's able to handle it. I've seen other people that are women. I've seen people that are elderly. I've seen, all sorts of, you want to talk about different aspects of it. I've seen all kinds of aspect on it. Everything needs to be recorded. Total transparency. It is a must. Absolutely. Now that sounds like a campaign slogan. We will try to do the bare minimum. Yeah, absolutely, Joe Black. That is all of their campaign slogan. Sherry Riggin is just taking a seat up and doesn't give rat's ass about Muncie and Delaware County. I heard someone say today that they liked Troy and they liked Sherry. And the person said, I'll be honest, I have not talked to Troy. So I don't really know. I don't know at this point what he's running on. And I said, yeah, but you know what he did as a city councilor. You have an understanding of who he is. And the person said, that's why I went ahead and made the selection and voted for Troy, because you're right. I have not talked to Troy in this election, and I don't know what he's talking about, what he's doing, but I do know how Troy has ran. And I know how Sherry has ran. I have an example from both of them. And what I see from Sherry, I just cannot co-sign that any longer. I cannot co-sign silence. Because how much longer is it going to be until it is totally our fault too? If we keep electing these people, let me tell you what's going on. In Winchester, You have a counselor in District 4 who we brutalized all last year. So I just absolutely knew that if she happened to pull it out, she would show up to the meetings this year. And by God, she said, watch this, I'm going to double down. And she didn't go the very first meeting of the year. She didn't go the very second meeting of the year. She didn't go the very third meeting of the year. You know, now
I think she was at that one because that was the one right after the tornado.
I think that might be. I think she attended a meeting. I think she attended a meeting after the tornado.
Yes.
So I will give her that
one. So let's give credit where credit is due.
Well,
tiny amount of credit as it is, but
I thought that was the 4th. Didn't they do 2 meetings in January?
I don't remember, Christopher.
2 meetings in January. The organizational, then the one to pay the bills, then one in February. So I think she didn't go to 3, but she did attend the one. But yeah, Kate's right. Whatever the situation is, the point of the matter is she was like, look at this. I'm still going to do the same nonsense. So at that point, I've got to say, hey, District 4 of Winchester, I kind of washed my hands of you. You get what you get. You know, it is what it is. It's your fault. It's as much your fault as it is anybody else's. So in our situation, you know, we say, oh, look, Sherry can't do any better. That lasted for a little bit. But now we got to say, right there, Janet's got the question. Sherry's a nice lady, but she needs to retire. Thank you for your service. Here's the key to the county. Here's your cake. Here's your golden elephant. Thank you for your service. You're right, Wanda. And no, I saw someone up there ask if I've interviewed Wanda. I have not, and I would love to. We need to set that up sometime, Wanda. I would like to do that and talk to you and kind of talk about your life and kind of what you've done and what goes on. Maybe we can chat sometime and set that up. That would be cool. Do you notice that the house supporting the party people don't include Sherry signs in their yards? Yeah. Do you notice that the houses that are supporting the party people don't include Sherry signs in their yard? Why do you think that is? They don't consider Sherry as one of them. She's not one of them. That's not going on. They don't do that. It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy what goes on there. Well, so there's more that meets the eye here. There's a lot more to come of this. And I'm going to just let everybody know I'm still going to be digging and I'm still going to be finding out what goes on here. And if or when there is a way that I can bring this down because of their stupidity, I'm going to. You know, I've talked to somebody, and I'm not going to name any names, but I've talked to someone who used to be involved in criminal activity. And if you ask anybody that's ever been involved in criminal activity, drugs, or, you know, stolen, stolen goods, drugs, police officers that are bad, they will tell you that at first they're scared and they're nervous, you know, and when they're it's both sides of the coin. The person that's like the dealer, let's talk about a marijuana dealer, the marijuana dealer and the marijuana user. Everybody's nervous. The dealer thinks that everyone's a cop. The user thinks that as soon as they buy this dime bag, they're going to get pulled over. Little does the user know that they don't want you. If you're buying, you're good. We don't do those reverse stings like on cops. That's hilarious. Cops are not selling you. Well, it's Delaware County, so the cops might be selling you, but you're not going to get busted afterwards. All right, I digress. Anyways, everybody's nervous until they've done it for a while. And then once they've been in it, they're no longer nervous. It becomes routine to them. We're called brokers now. So it becomes just routine, and there is no issue of just going out, and you could do a hand-to-hand transaction in the middle of the day, in the middle of the park. You don't care. You'll do it at the police station. Doing the illegal behavior comes so second nature. It's like breathing, and both people just stop thinking about it. And they have no issue doing it. That's very, very similar to what we're seeing happening right here, right now. These people are just doing all of this right out in the open. They're not even hiding it any longer, folks. They're just doing it. They don't care if you know. The last thing I'm going to say before we move on to the great debate is I want to show you something really quickly. I want you to look at this for a second. You see this ad here that says, vote for Jessica Piper, Eugene Whitehead, Brad Bookout for County Council May 7th. Blue, Indiana, white elephant, star where Delaware County is. It says Delaware County right above the star. Republicans, paid for by the citizens for transparency. You see that whole little logo there? Well, I want you to look at this for a second. If we come over here to our handy dandy Google machine, okay, and I want to show you. Give me a second here. Okay. We go to the state Indiana GOP, which for those of you out there that are unaware, GOP stands for the Grand Old Party. That P stands for party, everybody. For those of you that might not have known. Inside joke. All right. I want to come over here and I want to click on Delaware County, visit website. All right. And it's going to take us to a website. And I want you guys to look at something when it does.
You're missing some awesome comments about growing your own brand of weed, man.
I see it. It's hilarious. The political grow light. That's hilarious. All right, folks. I want you to look at this. This is now the Delaware County, Indiana Republican Party website. You see anything? on here. Vote Republican. Learn more about the beliefs of the Delaware County, Indiana Republican Party. Let's blow this up a little bit so
The little
everybody can see everything. You see this? What?
The picture, the cute little logo.
Yeah, you see
That
that
looks
up
familiar.
there?
Why does that look
Yeah,
familiar?
that looks really. Let me blow it up a little bit more here. Put it on the screen so everyone can see. Okay. Oops. Maybe we got too big. Who would have thought we could have got too big? All right. Delaware County, Indiana. Nonsense here. Okay. I'm going to come back here and show you this picture. Look at this. What's happening? So, not only is the Citizens for Transparency, William Walters, and the James King Machine, but are they also in connection with the Delaware County Republicans? Like, I see it's put on there. But why are they using the logo with the PAC? The PAC is using the county Republicans logo. That's a no-go. Do you think for a moment that I could be like, hey, the political spotlight, and make it like, and be like the Beatles, and that would be okay? Or we could use Kiss, I could come on and paint my face like Gene Simmons and show you my long tongue. Like, I think that here's what I'm going to do. I'm a Republican in Delaware County. I'll call myself that. I'm going to start using that logo. And I'm going to see how long it takes for me to get some kind of jerk-off letter from John Brooke or from some attorney or some nonsense. No, they're not very smart criminals at all. These scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're worse than the wet bandits. Honestly. How much Republican do you want on your government? Less and less. Less and less and less. Put that logo on the weed bag. Yes. Put those on my little like my little nickel bags. Absolutely. We call it hey, I got some of that elephant trunk. You want some of it? I got some elephant trunk for you. I don't know what we're talking about now. All right. Debate time. I can't wait. This is going to be interesting. The great debate. So, nickel bags don't even exist anymore. Well, that's hilarious. Okay. So the First Amendment, everybody knows, I think, or believe, they have a belief that they know what the First Amendment is. If you start going up and asking people if they want your elephant trunk, I think you may have a bigger problem. Yeah. Elephant dung. Can I get 3 fingers? I love it all. That's hilarious. Okay. So the First Amendment. Man, is Diane here? Is just Diane here? I don't know if she's here or not. I don't think she is. God, I wish she was here for this. This would be a perfect episode for her to be here. I hope she goes back and watches this. All right. So I might need you up here for this, Kate. Cigarette and all is fine. All right. So here's the deal.
Good, because you're getting the cigarette whether you want it or not.
I've got a First Amendment lawsuit against Sproles. And the reason I have a First Amendment cigarette... Oh, Diane is here! Yes! All right. Diane, this is going to be awesome. I love it. You're here. And I want you to weigh in on this. Please, please. You are more than welcome. And I want you... Tell me if you disagree with me. This is going to be fun. Okay. So I am suing Sproles because I don't think it's a problem to say why I'm suing him. It's known. It's out there. The lawsuit's out there. Long story short, I recorded a video. I put the video out. Sproles took that video that I put out. He cut me out of the video. He cut all of our logo out of the video. He cut the video down, changing the meaning of what was in the video. He used the video, put the video up, and agents of our team, Kate and Brandon, both filed copyright strikes against them. I filed a complaint. I went, and I don't think I actually did in time. I think it got done. I went to Sproles and asked for him to remove it. Or fix it, or attribute the video to us, yada, yada, yada. Sproles deleted my comment on his page. That was his official sheriff's page. I'm not saying it was the official Henry County Sheriff's Department page, the department page for all department news. I'm saying it was the official Sheriff John Sproles page that he put out his official edicts from. And he deleted my comment from a name, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. That is me, plainly to see. And then after deleting that comment, he then blocked me from that page. All right. I am saying, as an elected official, he cannot do that because he violates my First Amendment right from having the ability to access him and to comment, to question, to get information from him, and to redress the government if I so feel a need. Now, before we go any further here, I also need to say this, and there's two things that people need to understand. Number one, when someone is a candidate for office, let's just take Diane for a second. Diane has, to my recollection, you've never been an elected official, right, Diane? I don't believe that Diane has ever been an elected official, but I do know for a fact she currently is not. So let's take Diane, and we'll wait for her to respond, but I'll keep going. Diane is not now an elected official. Okay, she has never been an elected official. If Diane runs next election, so that's 2 years from now, if she decides to run for county council as a candidate with a candidate page, Diane has the ability and has the right as a candidate and as a campaign page to block whoever she wants all throughout the campaign as long as she wants. Now, I have always said that is not a good practice to do. And as me, I would say, people, if she's blocking you as a candidate, that's a good sign of how she will govern. And you probably should question her about that and very seriously consider not voting for her, because how you campaign is how you will govern, okay? However, no matter what my opinion is, she does have the ability to block. Let's say she wins. Let's say she wins that as she runs for sheriff, and she wins, and she becomes sheriff of Henry County. Now that she is Sheriff Diane, she's not just Diane now, she's Sheriff Diane. If she changes that campaign page into her official page and she puts information on there from, this is
in her official capacity.
In her official capacity, she can no longer block anybody. She cannot block people. She cannot stop people from commenting, and she must let that shit roll. All right. Absolutely.
And that's why we always tell people that if you're running for office or you are in office, you have a personal page. You don't post anything political on that.
Yep.
Nothing. And
because
then you have your official page that you post business on.
Yep. Now,
because on your personal page, you can block people. In your official page, you cannot.
Yep. I'm also going to take it a step further.
Campaign page. Then maybe when you get elected, maybe you open an official page that you do your business on, and the other one you solely campaign on and not post any official business.
Well, because here's the thing. If she has that campaign page and she stops doing anything with it until her reelection, technically, if she's never posted official business to it,
she can keep blocking.
Technically, she can still block people on it. You can block people on a campaign page. Now, I don't think it's a good thing, and I fight against it. But if you do that, it's shit out of luck. What people don't realize is, yeah, right, Jack. If John Proles has a private page, and I don't care, I don't care to be anywhere on there. I used to be on there. He blocked me from it, and I don't care. I'm not fighting to get on that page. I don't care what he does in his personal time. All right. However, if you are someone who has your personal page and just a page, just Diane political official, all right, and you use it to campaign, you use it to post political business, your official stuff, that right there is a page that you cannot block citizens from. Now, here's the question. If you're an elected official and there is a obvious fake account, let's say someone comments on Just Diane's political official page under the name Michael Jackson, and the profile picture is Michael Jackson, say from the black and white era, and Just Diane blocks that person. Do you think she can do that? Yes or no?
One more time, dear.
You're the commissioner of Randolph County, and you are a very controversial candidate in Delaware, in Randolph County.
Because I'm a bitch. Okay, I got that.
People fight you. And you've got people that are fighting you. John Bruchan's fighting you. Missy Williams is fighting you. Sean Byram's fighting you. Eldon Solomon. I'm just naming Randolph County people. And then all of a sudden on your page one day, Michael Jackson makes a comment. And Michael Jackson is the Michael Jackson page, and the picture is of Michael Jackson. Can you block Michael Jackson or not?
I would say no.
You would say no.
It's still a person.
Okay. What if Michael Jackson is saying every day? What if Michael Jackson is saying every day, Kate, why did Kate cut the head off a dog? Kate, why did you cut the head off of a dog? People need to ask Commissioner Kate why she cut the head off of a dog every day.
Okay.
I
think at a point that becomes harassment.
Well, at what point?
Yeah, I know that. And that's the tricky part. So you respond. I have never cut the head off of a dog. If you have evidence, otherwise, please present it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right.
That's me.
So I'm going to tell you where I was coming at from this.
Okay.
I originally was like, well, here's the deal. Because let me tell you, in order to get where I've got with the lawsuit, okay, I got blocked and I initially contacted Luke Britt. I knew what Luke Britt was going to say because I've dealt with Luke Britt around social media. Luke Britt, excuse me, I burped on you guys. Ta-da. That was amazing. Luke Britt is afraid of social media because it's not been very well tested in the court, and so he's not had much comment and much commentary. Okay, so he's very afraid of getting in those waters. So I said, screw it, and I went to the ACLU, and I filed a complaint, and we went through that, and they picked it up. But I did as Kristopher Bilbrey as me. I didn't do it as
Michael Jackson.
The Great White Wonder or Michael Jackson or whatever. I did it as a real human being, as a real citizen. If I had a fake profile and I got blocked and I'm incensed. Oh, I'm incensed. I'm Michael Jackson on Sproul's page and he blocked me. I can't call Gavin Rose up and say, hey, this is Michael Jackson. He blocked me. At some point, or I do, and I've got to come out with that. Like at some point, you've got to be the real person. To unmask a fake profile requires legal subpoena, right? Common sense common sense is not common. So the reason I called Diane into this is because she's dealt with this with Sproul's, but she didn't use a fake profile. She, as Diane, was commenting, and he says, you're not real. You're not a real person. You're not a real constituent. And Diane's like, yeah, I am. So if he did something to her, who's in the same state? Diane, me, and Kate are all in the same state, yes, if that's what you're asking. So in that situation, Diane's was a little bit different because Diane was a real person commenting as her real name. Sproul's is just a jackass. So he was totally in the wrong there. Okay. So that's...
I think he's talking to Wanda.
Yeah, I just saw that there. So my question was on this, because listen, I'm going to tell everybody, I mean, I'm very clear with this.
You're saying that it would be okay to block potentially okay to block somebody under a fake account because
I'm saying I don't know where I stand. I'm saying I don't know where I stand on this because at the beginning of this, I thought, yes, it was okay. Now I'm thinking, because here, okay, so give me the time that it would be okay to block somebody.
If they're threatening.
Yeah.
I think that if they were commenting to me or any other person in sexual context.
So if I'm the elected official, because I wouldn't want to say this to Kate, if I'm the elected official and Kate comments to me every day, I'm going to unalive you, Bilbrey. after several, I mean, after a couple of those,
after the first one, I'd be done.
Would maybe get a police report or whatever, but then deal with that. Okay, so that's crazy. Or I'm going to hurt your children or whatever. Okay, that's really crazy stuff. All right, so here is Ryan Webb, and Ryan Webb says, and he's an elected official. I know where I stand. Fake accounts and blatant liars can kiss my ass. Bye-bye. So I've always been no, you're fine. You're fine. It's not like, oh no, Kate couldn't hear us. I'm going to report and keep it up for people to see who you are. Okay, Diane, that too is thing. Okay. Blocking is one thing, censoring is another. Now, see, that is a very good thing there. That's really good there, Jack. Yeah, you would be done. Eric is the example of that. Tell me what are you talking to us, Wanda? If you are, explain to me a little bit what you're talking to. That's very interesting. If you're talking to us, let me know what you're talking about. I'm interested in what you're saying there. So that's interesting.
In my opinion, I think there's very few reasons that an elected official on an official page has a reason to ever block a constituent, whether they're from their area or not.
Yeah,
you do not get to block
from
citizens.
The area. Yeah.
Because some people are like, oh, well, they're from Pennsylvania, so I don't care what they think. Well, no, they cared enough to look at your page and comment. And they're a citizen, and they have a First Amendment right too. It doesn't matter whether they live in my area or not.
Yeah, and at the bottom, you wouldn't need to block. You can get their accounts deleted for stuff like that.
And Facebook has standards anyway. So I think if they're violating the Facebook standards of decency, which would be threats, sexual comments, stuff like that, then, Facebook is going to deal with it anyway. You can do a report and be done.
Okay, so where do we draw the line on trolls are going to troll, keyboard warriors? This is what they do. Comes with the price of admission to social media. In Dalton, that is very true. That's very true. Also, it not only social media, but to a greater extent to being a public official. Okay. And all right. And so Eric, in that situation, he was done. Is that correct? So that is interesting what Tim sent. Because listen, my first run-in with Sproles, I didn't even say anything. I only posted a link to his account to information. Didn't even comment. Yeah, he threatened a judge. Absolutely. Well, and threatening anybody, there shouldn't be, but it seems like you can threaten lots of different people, but specifically threatening a judge, they're like, okay, that's the very quick way to get yourself booted. So I've always had the opinion, as a candidate, you shouldn't block people. As an elected official, you shouldn't block people. I can see reasons why things could happen, but they are very few and far between. Now, what do you do in a situation where shared your S-word video and I shared your S-word video with him and he blocked me? What an asshole!
That was a classic.
I didn't know that was the one that got you blocked. That's horrible.
I think it's beautiful.
The other thing is, so what about? Okay, because we're talking about lies. So elected officials need to be like castor oil. Everything runs on it. So lies. Their lies have consequences. People read their lies and take action based off the false information they see. I just had my house and vehicles egged. Fake accounts, out-of-state liars. Bye-bye all. That is definitely an interesting take. I mean, because
the problem is, though, Ryan, is that they're not just potentially posting it on your page. They're going on to like the Delaware County pages for information and stuff like that. You're not going to stop them from spreading lies because you block them on your page. I would rather address the lie head on.
Ooh. All right, I see what you're saying there. That's
and call out their bullshit. At least that way it's been addressed somewhere. And I have the ability, if they're still on my page, to address that personally.
Stumblefoot, I got you beat. I was just blocked for being on Christopher's friend list. I was pre-blocked by Sproles. And I will beat you even further. It's not my story, but it's Brandon's story. I'm not going to say much about it because I don't want to. I will just tell you that Brandon was blocked from birth in a certain situation. And that's all that I can say. But you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
Brandon
about.
Brandon was blocked from birth. Brandon.
You know, the irony of all this, some of our viewers are blocked on Sproles' page for association with you.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not.
Yeah, now you will be.
Now I will be.
10, how much you want to bet you will be now?
I'm not taking that one.
Yeah, don't say it. We'll have to not say it again. That'll be interesting to see.
You'll have to cut that out of the final thing.
Let's see here. I understand that, Ryan Webb, but you are kind of a shit stirrer, and I hate those haters and what they do to you. Okay, that's interesting. I
also understand from Ryan's perspective that he gets angry when the lies that are told, and he does have a tendency to open mouth and shove in foot and keep on pushing until he's up to his knee in it. So I can understand his perspective of just wanting it to be not on his page anymore.
Shut it.
But because my personal opinion is I want to be able to address that bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I
said, I am just First Amendment all the way. And that means that suck it up, Buttercup. You put yourself out on the public platform. If they're not doing something that's, illegal on the street, then it's not legal in Facebook. Unless that's going on, blocking them is.
I don't give a damn. I have a right to protect.
As I said, I totally see your perspective, and that's your choice.
Stop they're doing, and that's what I do. A fake is a fake, and a liar can go somewhere else to lie. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Because so the other interesting aspect of this is there are people out there that think that because we've had Ryan on, and we have had, yeah, absolutely. Always. Because we've had Ryan on, and because I agree with Ryan's stance on transparency, that I should be able to say, Ryan, you unblock the people now. And Ryan will be like, okay. I mean, damn, if it was that easy, I would be like, Sproles, unblock me now. I don't have that magic wand. I wish I did. That would be badass, because if I did, to hell with people blocking each other, this place would be awesome. Muncie would have the best roads. and Sproles wouldn't be sheriff, it would be amazing. Good night, Alva. Doesn't matter what I stir up. A fake account gets zero protection. Hey, tomorrow I'm going. Alva, when you get it before, are you still here? If you are still here, Alva, please call me tomorrow when you get a second. I know you text me. I don't know what your work schedule is or what you do, but if you get a second tomorrow, I want you to call me because I want to talk to you about what you text me today, and I might even talk about that a little bit on the show tomorrow. But I want to talk to you about that. But I didn't want to call because I didn't know if I was bothering you or whatever. So just call me tomorrow when you get a chance if you're hearing any of this. Doesn't matter what I stir up. A fake account gets zero protection. A blatant liar can go to some other page and lie. It's not happening on my platform. It has to be extreme. And that's okay. So that's the other thing. I have seen Ryan eat a lot of shit. I mean, Mike Jones, for instance.
I have to go kill my dogs. Give me a second.
Yeah, you're fine. As for you, Christopher, you do have an effect on people's voting decisions, but I probably only voted for a total of 3 candidates that have been brave enough to come on the podcast. Well, hey, see, that is good. I like that. It's I like that. On its role of duties and tasks. One role who Jack, you're a nut. Stumblefoot, I think that's true. Okay, kick ass, Alva. I'm glad you were still here. I'm glad you were still here. That is also interesting. Do you think that it does or helps anyone? Because listen, I also want to tell everybody that as we're talking about how the First Amendment applies to social media and to Twitter or X or TikTok or Facebook or whatever, YouTube, the law is not dead set on all of this. There are going to be cases that are going to start coming before the courts very, very soon. In the state of Indiana, there is a very good likelihood that maybe the Bilbrey v. Sproles case could very well be a test case. I hope not. I hope that does not happen. I hope that we go and it gets, that we get a ruling and that's it. And that's that. But it wouldn't be cool. It would be cool to move up and become president. That would be kind of cool. I'm the nut in the shell. But it's interesting to me. So there's a lot of things that could change because of court's rulings. What do you think about if an elected official put up a disclaimer and pinned it to the top of the page that says, I will engage with anyone and everyone, supporters, critics alike, yada, yada, yada. I will engage with you if you are from my community or elsewhere, but I will not engage with fake. Because here's the deal. You don't have to have a social media account. So, like, for example, Ryan Webb could just delete, or let's not even use Ryan. Elected official Bilbrey could just delete social media, and then no one could interact with me on social media. So what if I said I will interact with everyone, but because Facebook, the rules of Facebook say that you cannot have a fake name. If Kristopher Bilbrey creates a fake account and I use Kate Duo and I combined Yoko Duo's name and Kate's name and I create a woman's page, Kate Duo, and Facebook catches it, that account will be deleted because Facebook says you are not to have duplicate accounts. I'm not even supposed to have 2 Kristopher Bilbrey pages. You are supposed to have one page and you are not supposed to have whatever. Scumbag politicians that hate 1A aren't people. What about if you, and I agree with that, Joe Tompkins, people who hate 1A aren't real people. What about if I have an account that is just Diane and another account that is Leslie Lewis, which one is fake? Well, that's interesting. So you're
both her.
What do you mean they're both her?
They're both her name.
They both they are?
I think her middle name is Leslie.
Okay.
Middle name is Leslie.
All
and
is
then
my
she's got
name.
just Diane with her maiden name.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
And then the middle name and married name.
Jesus Christ. Nobody is blocked for being a fake account. Plenty of people use fake names. It's only when using a specific fake account for the purpose of intentionally spreading false information without consequences. So it's like he's tagging. So what he's doing there is he's tagging up. It's not like, okay, you could be fake. So he's not even saying you can't be fake. He's saying there's plenty of fake people. Although I will say Facebook says you cannot have fake accounts. That goes against the TOS of Facebook. You cannot have a fake account. Plenty of people do, yada, yada, yada. But Ryan's not even saying that. Ryan is saying
he's specifically referring to trolls under fake accounts.
And I don't even think it's a once or twice trolling or I think it's a specific like barrage of attacks, like almost like a doxing. What if you're a felon? Do you not listen? Block. Person in prison has no voice. What if you're a felon?
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with what?
That a person in prison has no voice. They don't have a vote while they're in prison, but they have opinions. They have thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
They don't lose their First Amendment right just because they're behind bars.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Ryan is blocking based on blatant content. I understand, but the legal system is behind the times. If you have a real account, but then use a second fake account simply to lie and spread the false info, I might block your fake troll account. You're still welcome to participate with your real account.
Damn it.
I have a bunch of those false staters on my comment section. I let their lies and ignorance flourish. It's interesting because a lot of people ask me, like, for example, why I don't block Mike Jones. And because people are like, because there was a time I had Mike Jones blocked and he used to go crazy about it. Well, you're saying, I'm like, dude, I'm not an elected official, you idiot. There's no reason I should need to let you on here. But then he said something at one point, and I finally had to address it, and I unblocked him. And when I unblocked him, I said, okay, I just did the cardinal sin. If you block someone as a non-official, just a person in the world, and then you unblock them, then they just have to stay unblocked, because then if you block them again, it becomes that kiddie high school bullshit game. The founding fathers used fake names. They are rolling in their graves at these liberty haters. Letting the lies flourish, but some idiots believe the lies and then they repeat them as facts. Yeah.
It's like you have your way of doing things.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Well,
I would prefer to just address the lies personally.
I think
that's me though.
And I think that the audience so far has been kind of split in interest. Listen, I still don't know where I'm at, and I know that there are a couple people specifically, that's called a politician. I know that there are a couple people who call what. Listen, it's not. I'm just right now trying to decide where I am. I have not landed on a thought of this yet. I am trying to figure out where I stand on this, so that as I am not hypocritical to myself. Trust me, I have plenty of trolls that harass me every day, and I don't block them. It has to get pretty bad and blatant for me to block them. And I will tell you that I was aware. Now, the city of Muncie at one point was hiding people. They weren't blocking them. They were hiding comments. So the person could post. And I don't truly know. When people say you hide it, people say other people can't see it. But I think they can. I don't know really what happens when you, like, I don't know what happens. If you hide my comment on your wall, does that just mean you can't see it, but others can?
Yeah, it means I can see it, but nobody else can. Because I can go back and unhide a comment.
Okay, that's true. So you can see it, but nobody else can.
I said, I'm not sure where the legality on this lies.
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer to err on the side of the First Amendment. Just cover my own ass that way. Yeah, and I get that you don't want to have the back and forth. But as I said, I address it once.
Yeah.
And then I don't comment again. This is all I have to say on this matter. It's bullshit. This is why it's bullshit. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And I'm done. And then I don't address it again. But I want that opportunity to address it, at least the once.
Yeah. And Joe Tompkins, I don't disagree with that comment up there at all. The American Revolution would never have happened without political pamphlets authored under fake names. And it's like the founding fathers dressing up as Native Americans and doing that. They didn't just go out there, so I definitely get, and specifically doing things, you address it once and move on before they.
And if they bring it up again, then you hide it. I've addressed this already.
Yeah,
I'm done.
yeah.
I'm not talking about it anymore.
Yeah, I like it. I get it. I state it. I like it. I see it. I like it, Jack, and that's funny. Well, this is an interesting topic. I mean, it's something that the courts are going to definitely be dealing with more. And just in talking to the public access counselor, I was blown away because if you look at
pseudonym lives matter.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Easier said than done.
If they're going to lie, and deleting or blocking them's not going to change that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's I definitely understand where Ryan's coming from on that.
I get where he's coming from too. And if that's how he chooses to address it, that's his choice.
And the thing is, it's going to have to be interesting because what happens is, so it's kind of like this. It's kind of like my dad saying you can do whatever you want in life as long as you're willing to pay the consequence for it. So it's like, okay, well, now what happens is, if Michael Jackson comes after candidate Kate Thornburg and she blocks him, and then he's like, I don't like that. I'm going to bitch about it. Well, in order for something to happen, Michael Jackson has to push the envelope. If Michael Jackson just bitches about Kate not doing anything about it, nothing ever changes. Michael Jackson has to now come out. And that's what I think would be interesting, because you know what I mean is if I was messaging Sproles under
it's this whole thing that we've talked about before, about if you're that pissed off and you're that convicted that this is wrong, then you need to be willing to put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
Take their asses to court.
That was always that was always one of my biggest problems.
Nothing.
Who?
Bitching does nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was always one of my biggest problems with an old friend of ours, Mr. Kimbrell, which was, he was all the time talking about all of these bad things that were happening, but never filed suit. And I'm like,
Ryan
dude,
is elected.
what? Yeah, he was elected by the people, for the people. But yeah, so that is true. And I feel like if you're going to bitch about something to the point that something needs to be done, then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you're going to have to come out of hiding and be who you are and file a suit. I think that would be interesting too. So, listen. At the end of the day, I get where Ryan's coming from on that. I mean, it doesn't change what I've said always. Candidates should be open. If you've got a candidate who's right out of the square deleting people, that's not a good thing. I don't think that's ever going to be a good thing. If you have an elected official who's deleting people, whatever. I mean, if it's a thing that's just happening, that's not a good thing. People have got to be willing to do something about it. I mean, I think transparency is where it needs to be. Every person has a hill they're going to die on, or has a belief, or something that you got to look at the end of the day. You got to be willing to pay the consequences. That's the thing. Wanda says, bitch and follow through on everything. Absolutely. It explains why Josh didn't want to cross the line at the Henry County Courthouse. I'll tell you.
Story time.
Yeah, see ya. Diane, not Diane, what's her name? Danielle can tell you that the day that Josh came home and all that shit hit the fan, I had been calling him like 100 times because I was going to call and bitch at him because he had just been at the Henry County Courthouse and he was causing that big ass scene. And he's like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to cross the line. All right. Am I going to do it? I'm not going to do it. And then he finally left. And I said, dude, that's the worst thing that you could have ever done, because you just now gave Sproles the upper hand. They know that they can wear you down, and I was going to call and yell at him, and then all that shit happened. That's the thing. You can't push that line and be afraid to cross the line. You got to be willing to cross that line and to pay that consequence. And if you're not, then you need to be very careful, button up against it. And that's a big thing. That's definitely a thing. Who are we kidding? I'm the most transparent, accessible elected official in the entire state of Indiana. I definitely don't disagree with that. I mean, Brian's always put his phone number out there, his emails out there. He fights for it. That's the big reason that a lot of people that aren't Republicans support Ryan. They'll say, hey, I don't like this or this or this, but I like that he pushes for transparency as a council person, so I can respect that. He's definitely the most transparent. He's definitely the most transparent Delaware County official that we have. I believe it was Josh's attempted confession to Sproles. Josh is stupid, but I don't think he's that stupid. I don't think that I don't think he would have wanted to be in jail in Henry County. Definitely not this long. I sure as hell wouldn't want to be. Speaking of which, to end the show, folks, I will end on this. The traffic ticket is paid. We paid the traffic ticket. Everything's done, and they cannot get me. I am legal. If I would have had more time, I would have taken it over there in pennies or something. But I just don't have time to fool with all that, and that's not my bag. So, I've given my $3. I've given my $3 to the Henry County Sheriff's Department so they can send a deputy to the academy. So I've done my part. What video, Stumblefoot? Watch what video? Are you talking about that video of Sproles and Josh, that last video? Is that what you're talking about? And are you talking about Joshua? Watch that video and tell you that he's not psychologically disturbed?
Which one? Sproles, Josh, both?
Yeah, I was going to say which, yeah, both.
I don't think those are up anymore, are they?
I don't think they are either. I don't think they are. I'll have to go back and look and see. I hate doing that, but I'll have to go back and take a look and see if it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I want to thank you guys for being here. You have been fantastic. I like the debate back and forth. I like a little bit of talk. We don't rile people up here. The academy that puts cheaters on the streets. Yeah, that one. Law enforcement was kind enough to let me know my plate light was malfunctioning. Oh, really? Oh, really, Diane? That's interesting. I've been using Flowbee for many years to cut my own hair. Not only is it more convenient and so much cheaper, I can easily do as well as any barber that I've ever met. And listen to me. You need to send me a picture of your head and let me make that determination, because I, sir, have actually had my hair cut by a Flowbee before, and it was not anything. It was not anything. No, I didn't ask to see the radar, Karen, because I was definitely speeding. I was like definitely speeding. It was definitely good. Hey, Mary, happy birthday again. You've got just 50 more minutes. I hope you have a great rest of your birthday day. And I hope everything goes well for you. I hope you've had a wonderful day. You're a fantastic person. We'll have to get you on sometime coming up here again. Not just maybe we'll do Halloween in July or something like that. You have a wonderful rest of your evening. I was looking for impaired drivers. I was driving at 1:30 a.m. Yeah. That stupid ass license plate light shit. What a crock of bullshit that is. The problem with police officers when they went from being peacekeepers to being tax collectors, that's when the police went wrong. When they went from being peacekeepers of the olden days to being tax collectors. We will talk about that another day, and we'll have to have Wanda on sometime. Hey, you guys have a fantastic evening. I love you guys all. I don't know what happened to YouTube there for a minute. It went wonky. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do so, because you can now. It's good. Thank you all for being here. We will see you back here tomorrow. We will do a makeup show Friday if Kate's up for it. If she's good, I'm good. We'll find out what happens. You guys have a great rest of your night, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Be sure to do those things up there on the screen. They'll be really cool. That would help us out. We would love it, and we would love you guys a lot. You would be our favorite heroes if you did that. We will talk to you tomorrow.
We're going to love you regardless of whether you actually do them or not, but you know. Mm-hmm.
Kate, we'll love you long time if you do those, though. All right. Good night. All right. Good night. Goodbye. Yeah, that speech on the foot.
You know I'm going to have to hurt you for that comment.
I'll have to get some kind of a background for that. People. Yeah, that's right. No shit, Joe. I'm like, wait a minute, how do I come back on? You get back to the yeah, Joe.
I like things better down here.
Ryan Webb will come get it.